Hello everyone, I'm Brendan Connor and you're watching Sportsworld, Al Jazeera's regular look at sport on every continent. And this week the show is coming to you from Rio de Janeiro, the site of the 15th Pan American Games. And coming up on the show, we'll meet a water ski warrior from Canada who's been doing it well for a long, long time. Also, Brazil's brightest hope in the pool, 19-year-old swimmer Cesar Cielo. As well, an interview with the great David Beckham, who has now landed in Los Angeles. We're in Rio de Janeiro for our show because this city is playing host to the 15th Pan American Games. A quick look up and down the famous beaches of Ipanema and Copacabana will find Brazilians every day running, playing, surfing, doing some kind of sport. So this city seems a great choice for a gathering of the top athletes from this hemisphere. And those athletes participating consider it a huge and important event.
These games are like the Olympics of our continent. That is why the games are very valuable for the Americas. No doubt about it.
This is an important event because it allows the countries in this continent to get together and develop sports that are a sign of health, beauty, and happiness.
Brazil has spent a lot of money on hosting these Pan American Games, and there have been criticisms and cost overruns and security concerns. But now that the games are here, people are snapping up the tickets and the souvenirs as fast as they can. This is an area of central Rio known as the Lagoon, and it will be playing host to the canoe and kayak competitions during these Pan Am Games, and also the wakeboarding and water ski competition. And you can bet these stands behind me will be packed for that. Consider what a great sport this is to watch. Three facets: the artistry and the athleticism of the tricks competition, the power and speed of the slalom, and of course the soaring heights of the ramp jump competition. Now, wakeboarding and water skiing is kind of a strange sport. It started out as a cultish thing for the extreme crowd, and it's really come a long way and now has full status as a Pan Am sport. And along the way, there have been few people more successful at it or better at it than the man you're about to meet. Competitive water skiing and wakeboarding. It's certainly not your leisurely spin around the bay at the resort or the cabin by the lake. No, this is way beyond that. This is a sport where men and women regularly compete around the world for thousands of dollars in prize money. So while this all looks like fun, this is actually a day at work for this veteran Canadian skier who's been arguably the world's best over the last 10 years. Nice work if you can get it. Jarrett Llewellyn is nearing 37 years of age and has been doing this work for more than 2 decades, having picked up the sport as a youth and making his country's national team as a teenager when he began traveling and competing around the world. And he still does. Even among the new young lions of the sport, Jarrett is the reigning world jump champion, and he's a regular winner of titles on the World Cup circuit and has held 11 world records.
In our sport, older skiers tend to be the ones that are on the podium more because they have the experience. When I was at the top, I was got relaxed and probably didn't train as much as I could. I got sidetracked doing other things, and I think I'm back on track more than I ever have been. I'm going to push hard and train even harder in the next few years because I have that new fire that I haven't had in a while, and I'm not going to turn it over to the youngsters, not just yet.
So each day he's out on the water in the backyard lake behind his home here in South Florida, along with his Austrian wife, Britta. She too is a pro athlete in this sport, a 10-time European champion and regularly among the top 3 in the world. They admit theirs is a great lifestyle, but all is not as it appears.
It's our job, it's what we do. And you know, nobody sees that we get up at 6:30 in the morning and we go for a run and then we stretch for an hour and then we go on the water and do our work there. And you know, then comes the gym and then you have to eat right, and all of that is a factor too. You know, it's not all fun and games. It's a great lifestyle. I'm not saying it's not really a great job. It is. We do know what it's given us, and we do appreciate it.
We met through skiing, and she complimented me in every aspect, and we enjoyed, being together. And I think that's why you see a lot of people that do the same things, they enjoy the same things, and we just hit it off.
In addition to the competing and the practicing, Jarrett regularly meets with sponsors, testing their equipment and conducting clinics. So with such a busy schedule, how and why does he find time to attend these Pan American Games in Brazil, where there's no money to be made?
It's still a big deal to me to go represent your country, to be involved with the other sports and see other athletes at what they do. I mean, actually now, later into my career, I enjoy these things more than the other things, than traveling around and doing the tour, because I have to survive to get there. And the Pan Ams is something I enjoy. I love representing my country and meeting other people.
To Mr. Jarrett Llewellyn from Canada, the award of Skier of the Year 2004. Jarrett, congratulations.
The prizes, the financial success, the world travel, the national honors have all been there for Jarrett over the years, hard-earned and appreciatively accepted. But this is a sport that's tough on the body. Although in terrific physical shape, Jarrett admits he's approaching the twilight of his career. So how much longer will he compete?
Most guys that jump and don't usually last, past 35. I'm an overall skier, and I'm kind of a dying breed. The amount of effort and training that it takes to be an overall skier, you have to put in as much in all the events, because these other guys are just focusing on one event, and you have to stay with them in order to survive and make money. And it's very strenuous on the body, but being in shape and stretching and everything is the most important thing, and staying healthy.
Jarrett's son Dorian is 11 and is a budding young athlete who's a slick water skier, but is also sampling other sports.
Okay, stand up like you're on your toes.
Teaching kids and passing on his prowess is among several things Jarrett sees ahead as his career winds down.
I love working with kids. I do a lot of kids programs. I already coach all over and do clinics and instructional videos for kids. I really enjoy that, and I think in the next 3 or 4 years I'll be poking around doing that stuff and trying to promote that stuff through my website, and hopefully I can learn some in those 3 years, and then maybe I can retire and shift gears.
Well, Brazilian children grow up around the ocean in many cases, and swimming comes naturally to them. In fact, here in Copacabana Bay, there's an annual swim across the bay that many thousands of Brazilians partake in. I'm not sure if this young man has ever partaken in the Copacabana Bay swim, but Cesar Cielo, whom I met and talked with just before these Pan Am Games, may just be Brazil's brightest young swimming star. He's just 19 and comes from the southern part of Brazil, in Santa Barbara. But during these Pan American Games, he could be the toast of Rio de Janeiro. For much of 2007, Cesar Cielo has been churning up the swimming pools on 3 continents and leaving competitors in his wake. He is Brazil's top swimmer in the sprint events, the 50-meter freestyle and the 100-meter freestyle. And most recently, while competing for the top university swim team in America, he won the national title at 50 meters and 100 meters, and he was named U.S. College Swimmer of the Year. It's been a speedy rise for this lanky youngster, but then speed is something he has come to love.
Actually, when I was 13, 14, I was swimming 400 and 500 yards, and I just turned to sprinter when I was 16, and just kept going with the good results, and it's awesome because I really like the 50. It's a really fast event, and I don't really have to think too much about it. It's just go there as fast as you can and finish it. And I really like that. My mom doesn't like that much because she gets too nervous, it's too fast. But it's my favorite event. 50 is awesome.
In Brazil, the tickets are sold out for the swimming finals, and Cesar knows those boisterous fans at the pool will be chanting his name and expecting great things.
I'm pretty excited. This is going to be my first huge meet swimming for the Brazilian team. I was in the World Championships on March, but this is going to be the first time at home, So I'm pretty excited. Just trying not to think too much about it because I know the crowd is going to be really crazy there, so I just try to focus in my performance and do my best, and that's what I'm trying to do in practice right now.
Jose Mayolans from Argentina won the 50-meter gold at the 2002 World Championships and won several medals at the last Pan American Games in 2003.
Nowadays, the strongest swimmer is Cesar Cielo from Brazil.
He's 29 now, but is among those who will be Cesar's biggest competition, along with other notable swimmers from America, Canada, and elsewhere.
I think for the 50, Gary Hall and Jose Mayolans, they should be the best guys to swim against. And for the 100 free, it's going to be Albert Zubrats and Jose Mayolans again. And George Bovell from Trinidad and Tobago, they're pretty good guys.
We honor America's champs.
This has been quite a year for Cesar Cielo, even involving a trip to the White House, as the Auburn University Tigers were saluted for winning the national championship. A thrill, he says, but he says a bigger thrill would be a trip to the top of the podium here in Rio in front of his fellow Brazilians.
I'm trying not to think too much about it because I know the pressure is going to be big, but I'm going to try to change this pressure as an advantage for me against those guys. I'm prepared for that. I'm practicing a lot. I'm really confident in my swimming, really good right now. And I'm going to do my best, and hopefully we'll be a gold medal.
And coming up on the show, a Brazilian volleyball god who grew up on the beaches and has made his living at beach volleyball. As well, an interview with the great David Beckham, who has now landed in Los Angeles.